Hello, beautiful people. Future me. I wonder how long it will take now to have the announcement. I'm streaming for 2 minutes already, and the stream core bot is still. Oh, whatever. Doesn't matter. I have a bot which makes announcements to my Discord channel when I go online, and sometimes it pushes the notification just right away. Sometimes it takes a longer time, and I don't know why. It doesn't matter, really. Why just start? Oh, I don't have my timers open. It opens on different screen. Why? It is what it is. It is what it is. Let's go. Come on. Yeah, it does. I said so. I'm having fun with all these effects lately. Got my dose today. First dose. Depends on what you're asking about. It's 8:38. Okay, I just don't want to complain. But I'm usually okay when I stream. Okay, so that was the typing, and I don't even have open Max. How are you? Weird, the bot doesn't post the preview anymore for some reason. Busy sounds good. This, so that's good. Learning and go. Oh yeah, this. I was just completely tired. I slept through the entire day almost. Oh yeah, and I have to think that's the elements. Yeah, it is. Why is it not? Here we go. And this, oh, well, basically I said two things: that I don't want to complain and that I'm okay when I stream. How are you? Okay, yeah, it will open by itself. Cool. Supported. Hate those sentences because you never know. Like, is it old? Is it new? Yeah, I guess. Element package exploits. Hey, Josh here. Yes, I would think so, at least. Yeah, but they were saying that it's using Safari too, or it's supported by Safari. So based on that, it's possible that it's supported. Years late. But even if you don't, even if you don't have the support in it, it is done by Polyfill. No, they don't. They don't use the same engine. Like the Chrome. Well, you have the Chromium-based browsers. Those are Chrome, Edge, Iceweasel, so on. Then you have Firefox that belongs to the Gecko family. You have also few of those. I don't know which engine Opera uses, and Safari has its own. Is this rendering engine or the JavaScript engine, or it's actually the same? It's based now? Okay, so I don't know the answer to this. I'm not sure. I don't think it is just the JavaScript engine. Because those are like separate things. You have like the V8 now in Chrome. That's the JavaScript engine. I think the engine they are talking about, or we are talking about right now, which we are naming, is actually like the templating or rendering engine, which displays the HTML without the JavaScript and shit. Oh well, it's probably interconnected now, right? You cannot have one without another one, but still. Provides a bridge from that's confined. Oh, well, yes. The time when the web browsers were simple is a long time gone. Long time gone. It's like having like operating system, which is not a kidding at all, right? You have the Chromebooks, and they basically just have they had well, what do you mean by wars? Like the complexity is just increasing. I don't know what the wars means in this, or better, what means. It's different. It's more complex, definitely. It's entire operating system. You have the Chromium notebooks, right? They are just they boot into a Chrome basically. That's everything you have. That's your operating system, the browser. Well, I think you still have like some discrepancies, like some differences, but most of the frameworks like Angular, Vue, React, they kind of solve it for you behind the scenes, right? So you don't care for it. You have the polyfill things, which is basically that you supply the functionalities by just injecting another JavaScript. So your host of the it communicates with the client, which is the browser. Then you have like the identification of the browser, right? And based on the type which you have, then you either supply some polyfill or not, which is like a bunch of JavaScript, which basically implements the functionality which is the browser missing. So that's also, hey Arxon. Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. They really did that? That's funny and lame at the same time. Yeah, I don't even know what the Shadow Dome is. But now I read about it like everywhere. Like when I go like deeper and deeper into Angular, it pops out like here and there, like always. I don't have a hands. Oh fuck. Okay, I cannot. Oh fuck that. I will not fix that. Doesn't matter. It's not worth it, man. Huh. Can see part of the room behind me. I placed my hands correctly. Fun. Oh, I forgot to start the timer. Here we go. Okay, this is somehow how it works. Export create API, bridge from Angular's component interface and change detection functionality to the built-in DOM API. Built-in what? In the browser? Like, there's one problem with when you are really skilled in something and then you are trying to explain, you skip a lot of like the details which you find like self-evident, but for the guy who is new to that knows nothing about it. So for example, he now mentions like built-in DOM API, but okay, are we talking the DOM API in a browser or in the Angular? I have no idea. Okay, so I will try not to be angry about this and continue. Virtual DOMs are really common now with all of the SPA frameworks. It's just an internal document model that renders out of the real DOM. Okay. I see. But I thought the browsers now have like some, because I've seen it in like some Mozilla documentation as well, the Shadow DOM. It seemed like a feature of a browser. Yeah, look at that. It's in the definition of and it's supported by default in Firefox, Chrome, Opera and Safari. So it's not only implemented on the side of the framework, it in some form exists in the browsers. That's so it's different thing with the same name. You are saying. Change detection functionality to the built-in API. Yeah. I mean, especially in programming, everything is very confusing until you learn it. At least for me. Entering component to a custom element makes all of the required Angular infrastructure unavailable to a browser. Does it mean that the Angular doesn't need to have like the Angular in there, or what does it mean? Creating custom element is simple and straightforward and automatically connects your component defined view with change detection and data binding mapping Angular functionality. blah blah blah. Working on custom elements that can be used by web apps built on other frameworks. What? A minimal self-contained version of the Angular framework will be injected as a service to support the components, change detection, and data binding functionality. Why would you want to have that? Oh, and I did open this video too. Yeah, but it is like this is like we are working on custom elements, right? So, and here makes all required Angular infrastructure available to a browser. It's like, what the hell is the difference between those two? You know, this kind of implies it might be that it supports the bundle of Angular. And here they are saying like we are working on something which actually like, okay, no, this is like can be used by web apps built on other frameworks. Okay, so this is the difference, right? So yeah, probably just bundles in the thing. But then is the question, if I create like few of those elements, each of them will have separate bundled in Angular, because that would increase the payload like significantly and the load time of the web page. Anyway, maybe we'll get to know, or maybe we'll not get to know because it will not matter. Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. But then, if you have like shared dependency, what is the difference between the custom element and the normal elements which are like run on the Angular? All these components, directives which you create. Well, what is the difference? Then. Looks and behaves like any other HTML element and does not require any special knowledge of Angular terms or usage conventions. Okay, then we have easy dynamic content and content-rich applications. Okay. Easy path to creating a dynamic HTML content. Okay, what do you mean by it? What is dynamic HTML content? Moin moin. In the context of HTML and websites, refers to website content that constantly or regularly changes based on user interactions. Okay, I see. Oh, are you? Okay, yeah, sure. Oh, it's midnight already in here. Yeah. Of course. Okay. Here it is. It's, you know, like in a state of a despair, but now I'm thinking about rewriting this. Like this would be yeah, or you can ask next time too. And yeah, I want to rewrite this too, to have like easier way how to add things to it. Current yeah, I don't like advertise. It's because, you know, like it's like lots of random stuff, like unfinished, you know, like it's like more like notes for me, you know, like here the hardware things which I use, you know,
you know, like this is the keymodes, which there's like, oh, I don't have pictures in here. Oh well, whatever. This is my this is me complaining about what the hell?
Hello, this is the Provoked Prawn, and this is the Roccat Vulcan 122 AMO. This is an unboxing video and an overview of...
The fuck is oh, whatever. I don't know what this is doing in here. But it is, you know, it's not polished. It's like some links, you know, like, and some of the places kind of like looks like article, but it's like just random links and so on. So it's not really like polished. Yeah, and then especially when I switch computers, I tend to forget what kind of software I was using, right? So it's like the place where I have that. And this should be also updated because now I use AutoHotkey. Then I have these circles when I click. It's visible. Oh fuck. Left click, right click. It's a different color. Okay, we know what the dynamic HTML content is in your Angular application. HTML content that you add directly to the DOM in Angular application is normally displayed without Angular processing. Unless you define a dynamic component. Okay, what is dynamic component? Dynamic means that the component's location in the application is not defined at the build time. It's not used in any Angular template. Okay, instead the component is instantiated and placed in the application at runtime. Well, that's like the basic principle of the SPAs, right? That you change the stuff based on what the user clicks on. Just to know, okay. Angular CLI installed and use. Okay, so he creates a project in here. Use the outline. The component template does only consist of 2 div elements. Okay. CSS. Callbacks to the component. Yeah, those are the click thing. Oh, wow. On overlay clicked. Interesting. You have class or oh yeah, it's okay. It's event, okay. Activate this time. As we will do hooks later. We will what do hooks later. It's missing words in here. Okay, so this is like already like code creeping. Building dialog system. Okay, I don't care about this anymore. What the hell? It's like two options or oh, what is it? I'm confused. It's like not, it doesn't say like oh, and here are two ways or whatever. It's like this ends and suddenly point 1 easy dynamic content, point 2 content rich. What? Such as the Angular that represents this documentation. Custom elements let you give your content provider sophisticated Angular functionality without requiring knowledge of Angular. Angular guide like this one is added directly to the DOM by the Angular navigational tools, but can include special elements like code snippet to perform complex operations. I'm still confused. Let's continue. Maybe it will clear up when we get to the finish.
let's do create custom element. To convert component into a class that can be registered within the browser as a custom element, okay. You can use the element just like built-in HTML element in context that you can directly okay. Hey, how's Angular? Well, I don't have much of experience with React so far. It's different approach, definitely. Like people like the routing system in Angular more. But, I don't feel competent in making that comparison. What kind of mouse is that? This thing is M590, and then I use also this, which is the MX Anywhere 3. What do you mean? Like this thing or that thing? Did I have like... Oh, this is a keyboard. It is a keyboard, and I have implemented like the mouse control as well. It doesn't show, but yes, it is a split keyboard, and you can have a look at it here. It doesn't show the... I was thinking about getting white keycaps just in order to so for it to be visible, or maybe fix the lighting somehow. Hey Ryan, nice to see you. I need some advice. I don't think I can do programming. Well, you don't do programming anymore. You are doing DevOps. You're fine. I just burned all those megas for it that I just want a simple 9-to-5 remote job that pays decent, not too much. What can I do? Are you serious? You're always pranking me, so I don't know. And also, like, I'm not sure if I'm... Is that serious? Okay, so here's what I think about it. That is even the same position has like different demands in different companies, right? So even the programming, you know, it really depends in which company you are. So just changing the company might help you out. You know, it might be different a lot. So that's the first thing which should be like the easiest for you, because you are not switching the profession and so on, right? And there is the second thing which you can do, and that is work on yourself, because sometimes, or at least that goes for me, a lot of the pressure is self-imposed. You know, like no one around me like wants me to do this or that, like super fast and so on, but I kind of feel that I have to, you know, and that will be like not fixed even if I change the profession, right? That much. So there are those two things, but
it is also like tied to like self-acceptance or whatever, you know, if you like, because that one I know as well, like the first hand, you know, it's because of the feeling, you know, that I should have be like different, better performing, more beautiful, whatever, right, stronger, faster, smarter. Then it's very easy to be under a pressure a lot, right? But maybe it will help that most of the people don't know, or they are not reasonable in their demands. You know, I had a boss, for example, which I was unable to satisfy at all because he had no idea how that works. You know, he gave me like two tasks he gave me, and two different timelines, or like the deadlines, which I have to complete those tasks in, right? And for the one, he gave me like a month to complete, and I was done within like 2 hours, including lunch break. And I was done, right? And for the second one, and he told me that I had like a month to do it. The second thing was much more complicated, but he gave me just a week to complete. And that was much more complicated, and my best prediction was like maybe in 2 years I would be able to do that, right? So it might be also like beneficial to like work a little bit, or well, if you are like me, right, that might not be your case at all. It is my case, and that is to work like on my like acceptance, and even which has also this ability to say to someone like, you know, it will be at this time, or just fuck it, you know, like and what will happen? Will it fire me? All right, fine. And you don't have to be really stressed out for the work, right? Because, well, you can, but you work in the IT. Like everyone, you will get a job the next day if you want to, right? So it doesn't really matter if they oh, well, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. I feel the same. Currently, I'm in the work. I'm trying to fix a bug, and for 2 days in the work, I was just searching for it, and I wasn't able to even find where is it located at. So it is, well, Love Me Senpai is in the US. I am not. The hell was the task that's supposed to be long? Oh, it was like some CSS change. Oh yeah, it was just completely fucked up. Like it was just completely fucked up, you know. And I have been let go from that company, right? And at that moment, I saw that like a problem in at my part. It wasn't looking at it like backwards, you know. That was nonsense. I have been told by the colleagues which stayed there that the manager had like multiple problems on his project, and he usually blamed like his subordinate, you know, and he did it like few times. I was one of those guys, and in the end, the company figured out that the issue were not in the end workers, but in the manager. So they did fire him. He and to be honest, it was not even fair. It was not even fair to him, because he was like from the machinery thing, and they put him into the role of leading software project. It didn't make sense, you know. It was. They pay less, but expectations are much low. Yeah, true. Honestly, you dodged a bullet for wasting more time on that company. Yeah. Well, the first project was awesome on that, which I worked. The second project, I was transferred to like different people, and that one, that was like shit show. Yeah, but it's like, if you are not satisfied, Ryan, just change the job. It's completely normal in the IT to see people job hopping, so no one will look at you like as a bad employer because of that. And just do the jump. Just go. Like, for example, in my previous company, the colleagues were like really toxic. In one of the team were super toxic, and I also thought that was a problem. And now in this company, you know, even I did run into like problems on this bug, right? And one of the colleagues told me like, oh well, okay, so at Wednesday we will have a look at it together. You know, so there you go. That's true as well. Exactly, yes, I do. Yeah, I do agree with Orkson. Oh, here we go. Look at that. But definitely, you know, like, it leads to just change it, you know, like it's, yeah, most of the people, in my opinion, don't know what they are doing in the field, in the IT. So they don't have like the good like project management, they don't have like the good code practice, they don't know how to manage people and so on. But every IT worker is in such a huge demand that you can just leave. And go away. It doesn't need to mean that you are incompetent or bad worker or whatever because you are stressed out or don't know what to do. It might mean that your level is not at the seniority which the job requires, and the company is not able to recognize that in the hiring process, and they have no mechanism in which they develop the workers. It is not because you are stupid. You should know everything going out of the college or even few years after you work, you know. If it would be so, like the doctors could go work directly when they graduate, and that is not the case, right? It always shows at the places when the lives in it place, when it's like really serious. Then you make sure that you are making the right steps, right? If you finish the doctor, if you get the degree as a doctor, you still spend few years like just walking around, learning from the people like in the work, and you have a guidance, right? And that is how it should be everywhere. The problem is that this industry is very young. Everyone is basically drowned with the problems, with the workload, that is. And most of the people don't know how to do shit, even how to lead a team, how to treat other people in certain situations, and so on. And the internet and the YouTube is not helping at all, because it will show you like these genius like guys who well, they are not so genius, they just started coding or doing that exact stuff at 9 years old or whatever, right? So in a 20 they have like 11 years of experience, you know. And then people have like this like expectation, you know, that they should perform as them and so on. And that's not reality. It's just the physical law, you know, like it doesn't work that way. Well, the jobs are everywhere, you know, and you can, yeah, if you are very stressed out and so on, you know, just look for a different company and you will be fine, I believe. I hope. Does it make sense at all, what I'm saying? I hope it does. Okay, then we have Microsoft. Okay, so I'll search for that. But then we don't use it anywhere? What the hell? Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the thing, you know, like, I remember, well, and this has been said by Frederick Christensen. That's the guy I watch on the YouTube from time to time, right? And that is the holy shit. Okay, I will save this later for no reasons whatsoever. Okay, so this guy, right, and he basically, you know, said like, you know, like you are contracting for 8 hours a day, right? And to him, he has like, I don't know where it was like, okay, maybe existence on overtime, something like. And he has like a really reasonable like look on these things. It's, you know what? Let's see it. Let's see it. I don't give a shit. I will be copy striked, whatever. That's all good. Let's see it.
Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about working
Volume.
overtime. So let's get into it. So the question in question was a bit of a story, and the story goes, "Hi Frederick, my main question is at the end. I've watched your videos for a while and I thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience." No worries, mate. Hopefully the videos are useful to you. There are only so many channels that have practical advice and lessons relevant to what happens after you get the first job. I'm glad that you say so, because that's one of the main things I'm trying to go for here. Trying to make content that isn't for the absolute beginners, more about content for the people who are looking to become or are professional software developers. I started working as the sole developer for a startup in 2018 and then left for a job as a junior software engineer on a team of 2 other developers in 2019. We were working with Vue, Laravel, PHP, and sometimes Node. The experience was priceless and I've learned a lot, but at the same time I had to put in a lot of time outside of work in an effort to get up to speed and not get fired. Oh, that sounds awesome. At one point I had to sign a performance improvement plan since I wasn't finishing my sprint tasks on time. This was not revisited after my improved performance on the next sprint. They evaluate you on a sprint by sprint basis? Ooh. Currently I believe my manager is very pleased with my work, but as my team grows technically and professionally over time, I think we're coming to a consensus that that management's expectations are not proportionate to the workload. Personally, I've been doing some self-reflection and been thinking that I should stop working outside of business hours. I haven't been leaving myself much time for all the other things I want to do with the skills that I have developed, and also I feel like I haven't been respecting myself and my own worth. I would like to continue working for this company, but since I feel like my market value has risen a lot, I am not as scared of losing my job as I once was. What do you think about juniors or anybody else working lots of unpaid overtime? Well,
This is exactly that, right? You want to have like job with a like fixed hours or like 8 hours or something like that, and I feel that you're working more right now, and I have been there as well. Long term is not a good strategy, but let's see. But because I think he will say here what I heard him say before. And I got it from him. So let's hear it.
my standpoint on working overtime is usually that any company that expects overtime from their employees should treat that process of overtime as a favor to the company. If you are working for a company that you really enjoy, you have to understand that as a worker bee, like most of us, the company has certain things that need to be met. Like you need to perform at least a certain level for the company to be sustainable, and I know that some extreme people out there will go and say like, oh, I don't really care about the company, why should I do this and that and so forth. Well, the fact of the matter is that it's for your own survival. I mean, if you do have 100 other options, then sure, you don't have to care all that much about the company. But if you do enjoy working there, sometimes it is very appropriate, at least if you ask me, to go and add some extra hours. If your manager comes in and says in a very relaxed and transparent way that we have this big project, or we're in a bit of a performance phase, like we have to deliver a lot, then I would say that it would be pretty decent of you to put in that extra time to help the company out, and in return I would suspect, or I would expect at the very least, that the company appreciates that, and maybe you can get some flex time going. That's very normal. It's very normal that if you work some extra hours here and there, you can take an extra take a few go home early on Fridays, or like whatever you want to do with that extra time. But the fact of the matter is, because that's the whole point in this, The fact of the matter is that you are paid to work there a certain amount of hours, which is what you calculate your salary on. Now you can answer yourself what the normal work week looks like for you and like what the work hours are in your region, but here it's 8 hours. And I think that's fairly normal everywhere. And your salary is calculated on that time. In other words, if you are actually being paid for 8 hours but you're working 12 or whatever, you're actually making less money. Like the company isn't actually paying you the sum that you originally signed up for.
Yeah, so that's the first point, right? And that is if you are working more hours than 8, you're selling yourself short, right? You are not, you're not, uh, you don't have the deal which you signed up for. That's one. Also, if you do it like continuously, let's say you work 12 hours a day, right? If you do it long enough, you will be productive as if you were working 8 hours. It's just, it's not like the manual labor which you are doing, right? That that's the thing. It doesn't magically just fixes itself that you pour like more hours into it, right? Like the rest is also very important if you work with your head. It just is. Yeah. And I'm the bad example for that, but you can tell right away based on like how much you sleep, how well you eat, how stressed you are, like how well you will perform. And working long hours doesn't add to it that much, especially if you feel the pressure.
Actually squeezing out more from you than they're compensating for. Now, as I said, if this is a temporary thing and it's a trading of favors here because we're all in this together kind of thing, then I think that that's fine. However, if it's a systematic thing, that's a whole different problem. And as I said, that in essence means that they are exploiting you. That's what they're doing. And I have been in similar discussions before with previous managers, and I have explained to them, and this has also been in startups and so forth. Very
Listen to
simply,
that.
I've said to them that I am willing, because I really like this company, to put in extra hours and really go the extra mile and like make sure that the product is successful if we can't meet the deadlines. But I'm not willing to make this company my life. And I have stuff to do outside of work hours, so does everybody else, and that should be okay. Now, this is a tough pill to swallow for the founders in many cases, especially if it's a very young startup. If you have a young boss who founded this company and so forth, they are most likely, depending on how mature they are as a human being, they might still be in this weird headspace where, because remember, you have to remember from their perspective that this is their company. They founded it, they built it from the ground, they have invested in this company more than you will ever invest. If the company goes under, they usually go under with them. With the company, so it's like for them this is their lifeblood in many ways. You can get another job. For them it may not be the case, not always, but for many people who have started their own companies, this is special to them, and it takes a while to mature as a manager before you understand that you cannot have the idea that every employee under you is going to feel the same way. In the beginning you might think that way. I've seen this happen many times with younger guys and girls who have started a company, and they start treating their employees as if, well, why don't you work as hard as I do? Because don't I didn't found this company. I'm here as an employee. It's nice to work here, but this is not my entire life. That is a tough pill for a lot of people to swallow sometimes. That doesn't mean that you as the worker is unproductive or lazy. It's just that you have more stuff going on than this company, and for some managers that's very hard to understand. But this is where, as the subscriber was mentioning, you have a very good negotiation position, because if, as you state, you now feel like your market value has gone up a bit, well, then you have to remember the only thing your boss has in terms of influence over you, apart from emotional things, if you are insecure in yourself and stuff like that, is that they pay your salary. That's the only power they have. And if you don't care about that they pay you because you have another job or you have options, they have no power. Literally no power at all. The worst thing they can do is fire you in 99% of the time. And so you really have to be able to, because that's what it comes down to. If you want this situation to change and you want to stay in this company, you need to go and talk to your manager about this. You need to explain that you see that there's a trend now where we're consistently working overtime, and either they need to add more staff or they need to readjust the deadlines or something like that, and then just treat this as any sane contractor or sane
And that is the thing. Like the management like often don't know or have no idea that they are putting too much on the table, right? And what I see, like the programmers, they just take whatever, or like DevOps, like everyone in the IT, because you should be like producing, right? You should be like able to do like whatever, right? But there is a ceiling to that, right? And if no one will stop that, right? Let's say like, oh well, that is too much, or that is not reasonable, or whatever. They will increase the load, whatever, like, oh well, yes, but then it is you could be really exhausted because there is work for, let's say, 4 people and you are the only one doing that, right? And it's not your fault, you know. And if you are putting like these extra hours, like which are maybe not even visible, because like I don't know if you do that, but I did that, I was working like even outside of the working hours. And uh, it it creates a false expectations as well, because if they don't know that, they will go like, oh well, it was okay and so on. And also like produce now, DevOps fix now, well, so what? Like the worst thing that they can do to you is fire you, right? Or you could have a like discussion on that topic, right? And if they say, if they will have some, like to say against that, you can just say like, you can just fuck off, it's like it remembers me. There's like this old story in Czech Republic. Not everyone knows it, but they had the executioner, right? In how do you in the medieval times, they had, yeah. Oh, it's the same thing. Yeah, cut like executioner or hangman, right? And they were like, in no one wanted to do the job, right? Which is similar to what we have in the IT, right? Basically, you have the job to do, but then there are not enough of people which are able or available to do that, right? And the story goes that in one of the city, they had to like make this execution, right? So, but they did not have the cat, right? Yeah, I guess. The executioner. So they invited executioner from another town, right? And he was very terrible. He was very terrible, like he was like striking the guy. It's supposed to be decapitation, right? But he was not able to do that, right? He was hitting the guy all over the place, and in the end, like the audience was like begging to end it for the fuck's sake already because it was like already inhuman. Even the guy who's supposed to be like executed was already helping to the executioner to kill him finally, and he was not able. It was a shit show. It was a shit show, right? And the executioner went back to his town, and then from the town, which was like lending or borrowing that guy, uh, yeah, maybe something like that. But he was like hitting him like in the arm or whatever. I don't know the details, but it was a shit show. It took a long time. It was brutal and so on. So the city did complaint to the under the tone, right? And it's like, oh, this is not acceptable, and you should, I don't know, like he shouldn't be doing this or that or whatever. I don't know what the complaint was, but what I do remember was the reply, and that was, we are glad that we have anyone who is actually willing to do this job. And that, my friend, is the position which you are in, but you are not realizing that because we all, including me, are watching bullshit in a on a YouTube and in the movies, how like this hacker type like few things, you know, and then it's magically done. You're safe. You can fuck up so badly, and you will be fine, you know. And then the reality is that then you will go to a next job and no one will fucking know. No one will fucking know what you did in there. They will just look at your CV and they're just like, he was there for a year. Good, check. That's it. That's it. You might fuck up so badly, you know, but then you will go to another company and they will not care. And even though, you know, like even when you ask the former company and they say something bad about their developers and DevOps and so on, that actually makes a bad impression for that company. No one is doing that. No one is doing that because then that, yeah, it's like hard feeling, oh, he left us, you know, so he's a bastard now. And also, like, if the developers and DevOps will know that they are shitting all over their former employees, that doesn't like look good, right? So you can fuck up however you want, you know. You can even say like, oh well, you know, like it will be done when it will be done, and no one can do anything, you know. And if they are unreasonable, you know, and really, you can just switch jobs. Switch jobs. You're golden, my friend. 3 months ago, gonna strong olive another 9 months. Oh well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, is this your first DevOps jobs? I mean, 3 months is nothing. If this is like your first DevOps job, yeah, for the fuck's sake, there should be like no expectations of you whatsoever. I don't mean to be harsh, but you're at this moment, from the perspective of a senior, you're totally incompetent. And that should be the expectation, you know? There should be like someone who is helping you all the fucking time because you don't know shit. Yeah. Well, uh, whatever, you know, like, and that is true as well, you know. It will get easier. That's true. That's true. It will get easier, and it will suck, you know. And I don't know how it is exactly in your company, but for me, like a lot of the pressure was kind of like internal. I thought that I should look like the hackers, like look at my background, you know. I'm still doing that, you know. I'm still buying in that. I even like talking about it, but yeah, and it feels like a shit, but don't worry. You know, like most of us have the same thing going on. Yeah, sure, do that. And send them to me, and I will tell them to fuck off.
uh, uh, any sane craftsman would.
I don't
And that
become
is
famous?
to,
No.
when they ask you how long is
You
this thing
see,
gonna
that's the
take,
shit.
give them the accurate answer, the honest, transparent answer, and and then you go home at normal hours. And if
Ban.
they tell you that, oh no, this is going to take too long, we need you to work extra hours, then take that conversation with them and explain, all right, what are you going to do to compensate me for that time? Because I've seen a trend here where we are consistently working overtime, and we never seem to get anything back from that. If they can't accept that, be willing to walk away. Just walk away immediately. You are a software developer, and in this scenario, because you are a software developer, and because the IT boom is still kind of going on now, you have that option. If it was the case where you were working in a company where it's like the only game in town and you don't really have any other options, then I'm sorry, then you're going to have to suffer with a lot of other people who are in that situation. But as a software developer, you do have the luxury of looking around because the demand is very, very high. So what I want you to take away from this is that at least my personal standpoint on working overtime is that it should be a favor system where sometimes the company really desperately needs to deliver, and I think that if you really like that company, you should go in and try to help out, and in return usually the company appreciates that and compensates you, or you get some flex time or something like that, so that it's a mutual thing. It's a mutual relationship. It's a symbiotic thing, right? Everybody's helping everybody. If you are finding yourself in a company where they're systematically basically exploiting people, then in effect they're just paying you less, and you're not actually and it's digging into your own free time. You have to accept that sort of situation sometimes if you're in a position where you can't move around or you don't have any market value. But if you do, have a look around, because this is not there are companies who do this, but this doesn't have to be for you. There's plenty of companies who understand that a person who is consistently working overtime is not going to be happy about it, and you can always go and get a job somewhere else. But first, take a discussion with your manager, explain the situation, explain how you look at it. If they can't accept that, then just walk away. Have a great day.
True words. True words. And well, yeah, the hiring process is just complete shit show in the whole industry. No matter what you do in there, it's just complete shit show. It's ridiculous. No one knows how to do it really. That is my experience at least. And yeah, let's fuck it. And first of all, you don't have to be superstar. You know, like there's no need. There's no fucking need for that. There shouldn't be, and there is no expectation that you will do well everything you do, especially when you are doing it for 3 months. In 3 months, I would expect you to fuck up almost everything. That would be my expectation. Like, to be honest with you. In 3 months experience, I would think that you will fuck up like every single thing you touch, and some senior would have to fix it. And you will learn from that. That would be my expectation. Well, yeah. Definitely. That's good. And then, if the reaction is that they will actually teach you about that, then you are in good hands. If the reaction after you admit you don't know something, the reaction is like you should know and you're not good enough, leave leave immediately. Fucking immediately. Leave, go, run. Don't look back. Run. You're in a toxic, bad fucking environment. This is actually a good test. And especially when you are in environment, when you say that you don't know something, and they will mock you or just demand, just do it or whatever, you know, and they are not able to give you like helping hand. I would say spending a year in there is not a good option for you, because like in the long term, you know, you will get much more experience just by switching this place, because if there's like no one willing to share the knowledge with you, especially in the DevOps, you know, there's not so much like information shared like online as with like the classical programming. Or just leave and you will grow like better if you will be somewhere like when they are actually like able to train people, you know. If it's not in the capacity of the company, well, they're bad. It's their fault, you know, like, it's not your concern. Fuck it. Anyway. That was fun. Shitting all over some company. I don't know, how do you feel, Ryan, after what I said, what Orkson said, what SoSoDev like said? Does it make sense? You know, are we helpful at all to you, or, you know, like, I mean, we can talk about it a little bit more. That's what I mean. Are you even there? Maybe Ryan left a long time ago. Custom elements placed on a page, the browser creates an instance of the registered class and adds it to the DOM. I'm still online. Oh. Contains. Okay, what is this? I don't even know what I'm looking at. Like, this is what? This is the HTML, or is it? What is it? App registers custom element with browser. Oh, it is collage. It's like chick thingy. It's like bakery product. Where is it? Yeah, something like this. It is like pastry product. There's like a jam and other things on it. It's like sweet. No, I'm not going vegetarian now. Maybe I did not know how to do it, but I did not felt good, you know, like eating vegetarian. So currently I'm eating meat too. What am I fucking looking at? One, app registers custom element in a browser. Okay, so this is the browser, is this page? What the fuck is it? Tired of avocado? No, never. Well, I didn't eat so much of avocado sushi. Well, I like it with salmon. Salmon and avocado is my like favorite combination. Browser instantiates. Yeah, I bought 2 today. Browser instantiates the component-based class. Adds custom elements to them. For instance, provides content. What the fuck am I don't understand anything. Transferring components to custom elements. Okay, so the fuck am I reading? No, what is the result of it? You know, I'm looking at this. Right, this is the page, right? And okay, so we will do inspect, and here we will say show us component. Okay, so we have a pop-up component. Okay, if I do if I close it, it will go away. If I do show as element, what's the difference? What is the fucking difference? I didn't see the difference at all. Like, okay, so here we have the element. Okay, cool. So, and if I do component, okay, now we have like we have 2 app roots. What the fuck? I don't know what is the difference. Why would I do this at all? Why? What is the need for element, angular element? Why? Why do I need this at all? Like, what is the benefit? Why would I ever want to do such a thing? Function collects the component's observable properties. Okay, go for it. Implements the ng element constructor for fuck. And so, what? self-bootstrapping instance of your component. Okay. Okay, so I call this, then that. It does shit. When the browser encounters the tag for registered element, it uses the constructor to create a custom element instance. Okay, so we somehow just put it into the browser somewhere, and we do this. Then it kind of like ships it into the browser, and then the browser, when he finds my tag, then he does exactly the same thing as the Angular did. Is that what's happening? That's probably what's happening. Is that browser extension? Yeah, it is. It is. It's relatively new. It's called Angular DevTools. It's quite useful. Angular DevTools. And here's the, and this video introducing blah 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 was published.
Hello everyone, my name
on May 2021. It's fairly new, just a few months. It's useful though. It's very useful, but there are some requirements. For example, like your application, your Angular application, must be compiled with Ivy. If you don't have Ivy, it will not work. Which is the case in my workplace. Which sucks. We don't have Ivy. Yeah, I did not know what the Ivy was as well until I run into this. And then I found out there's like more ways how you compile the Angular. and there's like some older thing, and it is possible to write the application in a way that you will be not able to compile it with the Ivy. Don't ask me how, but the company which I work for right now, they did manage that. If you try to compile it with Ivy, it will just bomb out. It will stop working. Avoid using components of. There's like, okay. Whatever. Okay, so next thing we will do mapping. My arm hurts a little bit because of the Blacksmia. It's not. It's like. And I went there, I showed her the. It's swollen a little bit. It's all right. And she was like, relax. And I was like, and then she asked like, do you feel relaxed? I said like, yes. And she said, well, because of the muscles, it doesn't look like you are relaxed. I was like, oh, well, thank you. I take that as a compliment. Can sleep on that shoulder for 2 days afterwards. Oh, really? Okay, so let's see how it will go for me. I'll stop this.